So today we're in the kitchen and we're going to cook up something that I've never cooked before, never eat before, never tried it. Now normally I save all my wild game, my fish, pheasant, deer, whatever for camping season and eat it out camping so I don't have to buy any food. But I've got a freezer full of fish, a little bit of deer meat and everything, and trout season is less than a month away, so I'm going to be catching more fish, so we got to go ahead and eat this up. So the backstory is, this past hunting season, I did not get any geese or ducks. It was a bad year. They were just nowhere to be found here in Rhode Island, or at least the part of Rhode Island that I live in. A lot of the places that I would normally go were shut down because of triple E and mosquitoes. So I had a coworker who said, I have geese over in my area in Connecticut. He doesn't normally eat them, but he loves hunting. He says, if anybody here at work wants to try Canadian goose, I can get you a goose, no problem. So one day he went out before work, got his limit of geese, and brought us in all goose breasts to eat. So I've got it right here. As you can see, it's kind of a dark reddish meat, almost as dark as probably beef. So I've got a feeling this is going to be a dark meat, kind of like duck. So like I said, I've never prepared this before. So I'm assuming we're going to go ahead and cook this like a regular bird. I did not look up any recipes online. There's really not too many recipes that you can find for a Canadian goose, but I'm going to cook this up like a regular bird. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cook it in the oven in a turkey bag. Probably this feels like maybe about a 5-pound breast, 6-pound. Yeah, it feels almost as much as my old dog. So yeah, maybe in the 5 to 8-pound range. It doesn't feel as heavy as my old dog, but pretty close. So we're going to cook it in the oven. I'm going to use an oven bag. And since I'm going to cook this up like a regular bird, since it is a bird, I'm going to go ahead and put some butter on it, although I don't have much butter left. And I'm going to use my bird seasoning mixture. I use this mixture for chicken and fish. The fish comes out really good, and I put some of it on turkey last year. And basically what it is it's a mixture of the Montreal chicken seasoning by McCormick's, Old Bay, garlic, ginger, sage, celery salt, and Italian seasoning. And unfortunately it looks like some of my writing is coming off. I'm going to have to rewrite this so I know what the ingredients are. But let's go ahead and we're going to go get this prepared and in the oven. Okay, so like any other bird, whether it be your chicken, turkey, duck, or whatever, I went ahead and rinsed it off. And I really like using the oven bag, especially for my turkey, because it makes it kind of self-basting. Traps in all the moisture so it doesn't dry out in the oven. So, like I said, I've never cooked this before, so I'm going to go ahead and put some butter on top. Usually I use stick butter, but I don't have that today. I just got tub butter. So I'm just going to go ahead, put some butter on it. Just like that. Try to rub some on. I'm gonna go ahead and melt it a little bit in the microwave. Okay, so while I'm preparing this, I just got the oven starting to preheat on 350. Go ahead, pour my butter over the top. Now we're going to go ahead and add our spices. And I'm being very liberal with the spices because as this cooks, it's going to self-baste and all go down the bottom anyway. All right. Go ahead and flip this over. Add our spices to the other side. I got a feeling this meat is probably going to be tasting on the beef side with how dark and red it is. Because duck is not this dark. Alright. So, like I said, I've never tried Canadian Goose before. Alright. Got the spices all on there. Wash my hands. And this bag is actually for a full-size turkey, so a little bit on the big side. And just go ahead, tuck that off to the side like that. And we'll just go ahead and put one little slit in here so it doesn't explode with the steam. Tell you, I love the smell of the seasoning mixture I put together. It's so good on fish, so good on chicken, so good on turkey. Now we're just waiting for the oven to heat up, and then we're going to go ahead and pop it in the oven. I'm going to put it in probably for about an hour, and then we'll check it, considering this is only like 9 pounds or less. Oven's all up to temperature. I'm going to go ahead and place you on the bottom rack. So I just looked up on how long I should actually cook this for, and it kind of varies depending on recipe, and there's a couple other recipes out there, not for Canadian goose, but for regular like snow geese or whatever. But there was one person on the internet who talked about Canadian geese, and he said Canadian goose is a kind of a beef-like substance, right up there with venison. So it would be more treated more like beef. So you don't cook it like a regular bird. You would cook it more like you cook venison. And some people have sliced it up and actually put it on their grills like steak. So, but I'm going to do mine in the oven. So it'll be kind of like a roast, I guess, how I'm cooking it. So we'll see how it turns out. Like I said, I've never cooked this before. And depending on how it tastes, I may change the recipe for the future, including slicing it up and putting it in my air fryer like I cook my venison, which comes out really good. But we're doing oven today, so we'll see how long this takes. They said anywhere between 1 1/4 to 4 hours, depending on the size of the breast. So we'll check it after about maybe 1 to 2 hours and see how it's looking. Alrighty, it's been in almost an hour. I just checked on it. Don't think it's quite ready yet, so I want to give it a little bit more, probably check it in another half hour or so. But it has an interesting smell. Of course, my nose has never been the same after I had COVID back in 2021, but it kind of smells like a cross between a red meat like beef, but yet not really, almost like, I don't know. It's just interesting smell. It smells almost beefy, but not really quite. So yeah, this is going to be an interesting one. Canadian Goose. Never had this before.
Season run.
All right, she didn't want to repeat it, but she basically had a disgusting look on her face.
Yeah.
And she said, it stinks. It smells horrible. Doesn't even smell good. Doesn't even smell like meat. Okay, Canadian Goose is going to be interesting then. Because the face that she was making, tried to get her to repeat it and repeat the exact words, but she don't want to do it on camera. My wife is making gagging noises and ugly faces and like, ugh, what is that? And oh God. I can tell she is not a fan of cooking Canadian Goose. Maybe I should have saved this one for the campground because she is not a fan. To me, I don't know, it smells almost like a kind of a weird beef scent, but that's not what she said it smells like. Nope. Oh well, it's been in the oven at 350 for about an hour and 15 minutes, so probably give it about another half hour and then we'll check it. If my wife don't die first of the smell. So anyway, my wife is not a big meat eater anymore because she follows a special pescatarian diet. So basically the only type of meat she eats is fish and seafood. So sometimes I get the same response when I'm cooking venison or steak, but she really said, this smells bad. So we'll see. Alrighty, it's been about an hour and 45 minutes. Kind of going halfway in between what some people said I should cook this at for this size meat. So let's see what we have. I don't know if the camera's catching this, but it is looking kind of like beef kind of gets when you cook it. So let's see what the inside looks like. I would say that's kind of like, looks medium rare, or actually kind of medium. I think we're almost done, or pretty close to what I would call done. Let me cut through a thicker piece here. Yeah, I would say that is done. It's not looking raw at all. I'll cut through the real big piece here. I'd say that is done. That is looking like medium beef. Doesn't look red and raw like when I first put it in. It looks more like a medium cooked beef. Okay, so the real moment of truth. My wife also suggested maybe putting like teriyaki on it or barbecue. That would be interesting, but let me try a moment of truth here. Trying not to cut through the bag because I don't want juices all over the pan. Trying to keep the pan as clean as possible. Alright, here we go. Canadian Goose. That's good. Definitely on the beefy side. Definitely got a beef taste to it. That was good. I think I would definitely eat Canadian Goose again. I mean, cooked up, looking like beef. Kind of tastes like beef. That was good. I actually like it. That's real good. One of my coworkers said it tastes like liver, but it does not taste like liver at all. Especially with the spices I put on it. That is good. I could see what some people, I did find some articles say that this is right up there with venison. Wow, that was good. I like that. Man, I'll tell you, that is so good. And it looks so much like beef. And even when I Googled what does Canadian Goose look like cooked, it showed looking like beef. I actually had to go tearing through the fridge to make sure I had the right bag. I only have 2 red meats in there that are just in regular Ziploc bag. One was the deer liver and one was Canadian Goose. This was definitely in the shape of breast meat, not in the shape of the liver meat. The rest I got in there is like chicken and fish. But man, this is so good. Wow. All right, so I gave some to my mom, and she said she wasn't really that crazy about it. She said it was a little bit dry, like a dry roast beef, and probably because the way I cooked it, and maybe I cooked it a little bit too long, it might have dried out a little bit, but she told me my dad's old friend, who passed away a few years, his name was Norm, and he used to actually get 2 of them every year for Thanksgiving. So, but yeah, I would try Canadian Goose again. Maybe cook it a little bit different so that it doesn't dry out as much, but I would definitely eat it again. Looks like I'm going to eat the whole thing tonight, both breasts. And as you can see, I dumped some of the juices and broths over it, so I have a little bit of au jus. Yeah, definitely going to eat the whole thing. That is good. That's good. I'm really surprised. That is good. Okay, see you in the next video.